The Panthers benched Bryce Young, but is his career over? I don't think so. Mel Kiper should be shot to the moon in the worst rocket imaginable for his comments for trying to ruin football. We talk more NFL games. We talk college football. What's going on with Harold Perkins, bro? And then baseball season is coming to an end. We're wrapping it up. Welcome to Friday Junior, folks. This is Thursday edition of Box Scores and Bourbon.
Look at the box scores.
Box Scores
and Bourbon.
We check each other's box scores and scores online.
Baseball, Box Scores.
So football, baseball, basketball, soccer, hockey.
Box Scores and Bourbon.
Earlier this week, the Panthers made a decision to bench Bryce Young. Now, on the surface, I don't really have a problem with it. You're an NFL football franchise. Even Panther fans coming into this season really didn't expect much from this team to do anything other than maybe not screw up getting the first pick again, but you still have to play the game. And when we get to our Fix of Six, we'll talk about the very special thing that they're doing to get fans in the gates. But I want to talk about the Panthers organization for a second. This is the worst NFL organization on the planet. I might even go as far as to say this is the worst run sports organization in all of sports. David Tepper is a joke. Forget all of this Jim Irsay crap about him driving drunk. Okay, well, at least it's entertaining listening to him slobber over his words. But David Tepper is throwing beers at fans. He is calling them names. He is out of control. And worst of all, he doesn't even know how to run a business. What is wrong with this man? Now, I applaud him for hiring Dan Morgan to run the player personnel and all of the front office stuff on that side of it. Love watching Dan play football. Not really sure how he's going to be as an exec, but time will tell. But the Panthers organization did one thing right this offseason. It was hire Dave Canales as the head coach. Dave Canales is the one who, if anyone could help Bryce Young come out on top and show any glimpse of hope or that special talent that he showed us at Alabama, it was Dave Canales. Now remember, it was Dave Canales who revived Geno Smith's career. Geno Smith was a flame-out second-round pick of the desperate New York Jets back in, 2013? And no one ever thought he would ever play a relevant down of football ever again until Russell Wilson decided to flame out. But Dave Canales was there, picked him up. Like the wind beneath his wings. He was the Swayze to his Jennifer Grey. He was out there helping him do the dance moves. And guess what? He's come through and he's played really good football even past Dave Canales' tenure as the coach, as the OC and quarterback coach in Seattle. And then he goes to Tampa Bay and he unlocks something that everyone who thought he was just washed out. Oh, Baker Mayfield. Everyone thought Baker was washed out. But we all forget there's a town in Ohio. I forget what it is. Oh, yeah, it's Cleveland. Yeah, if it wasn't for Carolina, Cleveland would hold the top spot. And, what the hell do we even have sports franchises for anyway? Our fans can't show up right. He revived Baker Mayfield's career in Tampa Bay. And guess who's playing the best football out of the past 2 weeks in the NFL? That's right. It's Baker Mayfield. And Dave Canales is no longer his OC anymore or his quarterback coach. He's not there. Again, another quarterback that Dave Canales has unlocked something, which leads me to Bryce Young. Bryce Young will be just fine. Bryce Young is a big boy. Bryce Young, at last I checked, makes millions of dollars now to sit on the bench. He's a grown man. And don't sit there and tell me, all these pundits on TV, oh, well, he can't. Why didn't you put him on the IR? You got to make it easier for him, gentler on his ego. Let me tell you something. If your quarterback needs semantics to help his fragile ego not explode or implode on impact because of words, he doesn't deserve to wear a football pad at all. He doesn't even deserve to coach Pee Wee because I don't need him raising snowflake football players. Okay? There's no reason to sit there and tell a grown man, oh, hey, the real reason you're doing this is because, well, we just feel something achy in your tummy. No, you're not doing the job. We're sitting you. You're not even going to be second string. You'll be third string. We might give you reps on the practice squad. But don't sit there and tell me that you need to make them just wrap them in bubble wrap. I'm tired of these pundits saying it. Bryce Young's a grown man. He'll be just fine. And if he's not fine because of the words, he never deserved to be an NFL quarterback in the first place. So enough with this garbage and this crap. Bryce Young will be fine, which leads me to my last point. Les Snead, Sean McVay, get on the horn with Dan Morgan as soon as possible. And I need you to trade for Bryce Young right now. Let Bryce Young sit behind Matthew Stafford. Let Bryce Young learn from a competent franchise. Let the Rams be for Bryce Young what the Niners were for Sam Darnold, who is another quarterback playing out of his mind football the first 2 weeks of the season right now. Let's do something right by this player, and let's see if we can get a competent organization go ahead and trade for him to be able to sit in their facility behind a future Hall of Famer and let him learn. Manny, what's going on, man? It's good to see you, dude.
Hi, JB. Welcome back to another episode. Cheers.
Hello,
to
buddy.
your great monologue.
Cheers. Yeah, I don't understand. All these pundits on TV telling me that you need to wrap Bryce Young in bubble wrap. If it wasn't for Mel Kiper making a complete joke of himself, just showing to the whole world Mel Kiper doesn't know anything about football, which if you didn't know already by watching DraftCast for the past 20 years, this is a joke of a man. He can't even take care of his hair right. Like, if it wasn't for Mel Kiper being a joke, it would be these NFL pundits, the ones who are.
So here's my counter to your monologue on Bryce Young. I have a couple things to say about it. First off, I agree with you with the he'll be fine approach. I've never seen a young quarterback, digress because he gets to watch a veteran play football, and never has there been a time where if you sit, you get worse ever in the existence of the quarterback position. So they're doing him justice by giving him the rookie year that he should have had last year, where it was just to sit behind the competent quarterback and see how that position is played. They're just doing it a year late. So I have no problem with that. It just sucks that the optics of it are just very being blown out of proportion right now because of, you're the number one pick and you're getting benched week 2. Of course, the optics are bad, but I can see why that is happening right now. Additionally, I wouldn't put it past the head coach being the reason that this is happening for what I just mentioned, seeing that he's struggling, that the game is moving too fast for him. Why he's saying, you know what, we're going to treat him as a rookie and we're going to redshirt him for this year and just let him sit behind Andy Dalton, which is a very competent. He has a lot of experience and good experience. He's very competent. So I think this will make Bryce a very competent quarterback. Here's my thing. Here is my thing, the problem that I have with what you just said. How are you going to tell me Bryce Young is going to be just fine because Dave Canales is his head coach, but then you at the same monologue, you want the Rams to trade for him? I would trust him more under the Carolina Panthers head coaching staff right now with the quarterback development than under the Rams coaching staff for the reason that we just talked about, because that head coach knows how to develop quarterbacks. So I have a problem with you taking both sides of that conversation.
It has everything. It's a great question. It has everything to do with where I went with Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold went to the Niners, and it was almost his existence there was almost of no consequence to Niner Nation. But him being in that building, him being part of that organization, was of great consequence to him. Because now we see him in Minnesota. Now we see what he did against the Niners on Sunday. That 97-yard pass or touchdown pass to Jefferson in the first half. So that was one of like he was so like he was in the end zone. He was just looking downfield, kept his feet moving, just looking. Boom. No panic. And so it's just one of those things where if Bryce Young stayed in Carolina, I have all the faith in the world Dave Canales can unlock something in Bryce Young to where he can look somewhat of a competent quarterback. I've got no doubts about that. But you look at the organization that Dave Canales came from. He came from Tampa. They just won a Super Bowl. He came from before that. He was in Seattle. Seattle's a perennial playoff team. These are two organizations that Seattle had it together for a while. Tampa Bay was getting it together. They had it together. And so Dave Canales is now coming into this, it's like in the beginning of Back to the Future when the manure truck dumps all the manure on Biff's car. Like that's what this is. Like Dave Canales was driving a nice car. He rams into the manure truck. Here comes the poop. He's covered in it now. And so this is Carolina. This is his reality now. This is it. But I have I don't have any doubts that Dave Canales going to lock something in Bryce. But I'm saying that for Bryce to be able this would benefit two franchises. This would benefit two parties. It would benefit Bryce going to an actual competent franchise where he's not forced to produce. He just has to sit there and play. And if I'm not mistaken, the Rams drafted Stetson Bennett. So that would be fun too. That would be to have a Georgia-Alabama quarterback kind of fighting it out for number 2 in LA. That'd be fun. But they both get to sit behind a future Hall of Famer, a first ballot Hall of Famer, in an organization that is competent, that knows how to win, that knows how to play football. Carolina, that organization is a trash heap.
Who would you trust Bryce for the future of Bryce Young's career? Where would you trust more? Him sitting under Dave Canales or sitting under Sean McVay? That's
at this point.
I'll
LA.
be honest with you. I disagree. I'm not hating on Sean McVay, but there's nothing about the head coaching skills that he has that has shown me that he knows how to develop quarterbacks. There's nothing about.
I'm not talking about that.
About anything he's done.
He either goes from a quarterback guru, who's his head coach now, or he can go to a franchise where the organization is put together. It's not a trash heap. And Sean McVay wouldn't be the one grooming him. It would be him learning from Matthew Stafford. He gets to learn from a guy who's done it so well for so long. He gets to learn from him. And I think that would be the benefit there. That would be it's almost like a double protectant. He's got this organization, inside the organization, he's got this guy who can help guide him. He can learn from. He can just watch on a Sunday. Nothing against the Red Rocket, but what's Bryce Young going to learn from Andy Dalton? I don't know.
He was a competent quarterback for a while since Cincinnati.
He was.
But
you don't want your first overall pick to be a competent quarterback. You want your first overall pick to be someone who's going to nail it.
Well, yes, but I think that should come from the head coach, not necessarily from the quarterback shadowing. No Hall of Fame quarterback has had a Hall of Fame quarterback to learn from every year. It comes from their coaching.
Yeah. Yeah. But look, I agree with you to some extent, but it's all from moot anyway because he's not going anywhere. Carolina's not trading him
Right.
because if they try to trade him, they wouldn't get nearly the value that they traded to get him in the first place. He's not going anywhere. He's going to be in Carolina. It's up to Dave Canales to begin building the infrastructure there, at least in the coaching staff sense, and to begin to have the player personnel there working with Dan Morgan to get the player personnel in the coaching infrastructure to help Bryce Young succeed. Bryce Young's career is not over. He'll be just fine. He should have never started in the first place. He should have never did it.
I agree.
So
he should have been on the bench doing this last year. That's what we can agree on that.
But then even if it wasn't last year, Dave Canales' big mistake was throwing Bryce Young out there week 1. The moment Dave Canales came into the building, and I will say this is where Dave Canales failed. He should have said, Bryce, you are not my number 1. Hell, you're not even my number 2. You are my number 3. I am going to protect the hell out of you. I'm going to make sure that you get what you need so you're prepared every single Sunday.
But why do you feel like he should have done that
every Sunday?
Why do you feel like he should have done that right away?
Dave Canales,
what's the difference?
Because Dave Canales even came out and said that we're going to treat this like he's a redshirt freshman. Well, then you should have sat him in the first place. What'd you start him for? If you're going to come out with that comment, I mean, back it up with some reason why you started them in the first place. Last I checked, you don't start. If you're going to redshirt a freshman, that means they're not playing. So if you're going to, but then maybe he meant it like, oh, he was a redshirt freshman. That first season didn't count. This is really his first season. Okay. Well, we saw how the redshirt played his first season.
I feel like he wanted to see what Bryce Young had learned in the last year, and once he realized that his development was not where it should be, then he had to pull the plug. There's no better time to see a quarterback. Preseason doesn't show you what you need. Training camp doesn't really show you what you need. You need to play real football to be able to see something out of a player. So, I mean, I get what you're saying. I mean, yeah, like it would have made sense week 1, 2, but because he's the head coach and he's new there to Bryce Young, and I feel like he just needed to see what he had in Bryce Young, and once he realized that Bryce Young is struggling, pull the plug, and that now you defend it, and you have a good reason to defend it, which I think he does, which makes sense to me.
Yeah, but to sit there and to say that telling him that he's benched instead of saying he's on the IR is going to ruin him. If it does, then you have found out more about him than you need to know.
Yes.
If this ruins his psyche, what are you doing playing big boy football anyway?
Mm-hmm.
If you're told you're not good enough yet.
We've sat here talking about how many quarterbacks make because they're supposed to be the leader of the entire team, really. And if your feelings get hurt over getting benched, then you're not meant to be a starting quarterback, and you don't have the skill set to be a good leader. If you're going to get hurt about something like this, I agree with you on that. That's ridiculous to try protecting somebody's emotions over your profession.
Yeah, because not only am I going to expect you to take harsh criticisms from those around you, I'm going to need you to give those harsh criticisms. I'm going to need you to get in someone's face eventually. I'm going to need you to be what we call, what hasn't Carolina had in a while? Oh, a leader. That's what it is. I'm going to need you to be a leader. And I know that's foreign to Panther fans since they gave Christian McCaffrey away for a bag of Skittles and a Costco size of, croissants. But, they haven't had anybody there in a while, in quite some time. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, but let's move on. I got to talk about this Mel Kiper thing. This is, my God.
It's been eating at you.
Oh, my word. this. How do you not know
Talk
football?
to me, baby.
This
Talk
guy
to me. Talk to me.
has allegedly been talking NFL football for, I don't know, like 30, 40 years. He's been doing DraftCast forever, up on that stupid ESPN stand, talking about like he knows what he's talking about. Jimmy Clausen's going to win multiple Super Bowls, whatever. Okay, clown. Even I knew that when you said it wasn't true when you said it, because I have eyes. All right? I have eyes. He should see better than most. He's got his hair slicked back all the way to his damn behind. There's nothing obstructing his view. Maybe the rim of his glasses. But this man sitting there saying that deep safeties are ruining NFL football. What on God's green earth are you talking about, dude? I'm sorry. Did Bud Carson never exist? Did Bud Carson of the Yellow Jackets of the Georgia Institute of Technology, did he not come out with this in the 60s? He developed cover 2 50 years ago. And you're sitting here, it has to be banned? So you're telling me that, Hail Marys have to be, that defenses can't cover Hail Marys anymore because everyone has to play 10 yards in. You can't have anybody drop back. That's not allowed. That can't happen. What a moron. What an absolute disgrace to NFL humanity and humanity everywhere.
His argument made no sense either. Yeah. His rationale made no sense to me when I heard that clip. He said that routes nowadays that football has developed in a way that doesn't, like, the routes don't necessarily need to be that deep. I'm like, if anything, we have faster receivers, more explosive offenses. Why would you not need to cover more space?
The cover 2's been here forever, and he's going to pretend like it's brand new. I'm like, what are you talking about, you moron? Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, that makes no sense to me. It's like the most fundamental thing you can teach a defense. Cover 2, split the field in half, make sure nobody gets behind you on your side of the field. Like, it's the most fundamental thing in football nowadays. And he saying, well, when I was watching a football game, I was wondering where the safeties were because they were so far back that I didn't even know if they were part of the play. Shut up. Shut up.
The only people that this sounds like palpable to are those who run the Carolina Panthers. They're like, get this man to be a defensive coordinator stat. We need this man to run our defense quick and in a hurry. Get him on the horn. We need him in here now. We need him in Charlotte. Like, this is, It was just absolutely asinine. And I want to make a point about these pundits, okay? It's only been a week, not even a week. Yeah, it's been a whole week since Tua had his concussion, okay? We went from a whole day of, you got to make this man retire. You can't let him play. He's going to kill himself out there. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's got a concussion. He can't think for himself. To Bryce Young being benched. Oh, you got to protect the man with words. You can't tell him words. It's going to hurt his feelings. No. We went from telling a man he has to quit to telling another dude, oh, it's not your fault. You're so pretty. Oh, no, it's not your fault at all, buddy. No. Oh, no, please don't cry. To another man outing himself as someone who's never watched football his entire life.
Better fucking retire.
This happened
Get out of here.
This happened in 1 week. In 1 week. From the same channel of people, ESPN, those geniuses. My goodness.
Why do you even watch ESPN? I thought we had talked about how you were going to stay away from ESPN because it stressed you out.
This is the radio. It's on the radio. I was listening to it. I'm driving to the gym. I hear these morons talking. So I'm just like, oh my goodness. My wife changed the station to some station. It's some ungodly music.
Your stress vein popping out, so you change the station quick.
It's just, it's so bad. It's so bad.
It is such counter like productive on both sides. A quarterback that is literally having like a health episode, you're treating with
Yeah.
no care whatsoever, bashing him
Yeah.
like no other, and a guy that just sucks, you want to be cool with him. Like you should really flip those two approaches with the two guys.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so weird. It's so weird. But anyway, I'm done talking about these geniuses.
Yeah.
Let's what do you want to talk about some of the games this weekend?
Yeah, well, we first need to talk about the
Oh
elephant in the
yeah,
room.
we do need to talk about this first. You haven't even said it. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes, we need to talk about this.
We're going to talk about the elephant in the room. JB, I'm not going to sit here and say the Cowboys are not who we thought they were, but I'm also not going to say the Saints are not who we thought they were, because the Saints just happened to be catching the Cowboys on a bad night. Do you believe in the Saints as they are for the last 2 weeks?
Mm-hmm. No.
Okay,
They played they played the Carolina Trash Pandas week 1, and then they played a defense that if they don't intercept the ball, you're good because they can't tackle anybody. So I just like this is which bodes well for Alvin Kamara because he ran all day all over them. So I will be a believer if they with their showing against Philadelphia this weekend. That's when I'll be a believer.
Well, no.
That's when I'll begin.
I don't know about that. Philadelphia has not shown me anything to say that. No. Philadelphia hasn't shown me anything that says, oh, yeah, they're the competitive teams. Considering what we just saw on Monday night out of them, I don't see anything that would tell me, oh, yeah, the Saints are legit because they beat the Eagles.
No, it's just because they did it 3 games in a row. So if you do it 3 games in a row, okay, all right, maybe. So I'm not saying I'm going to be fully bought in because it's still Derek Carr throwing the football, and nothing against Clint Kubiak, but Derek Carr has been surrounded by brilliant minds and weapons his entire career. What has he ever done with it? He's done nothing with it. He's done nothing. He's got less this year on this squad with the Saints than he did in his heyday with Oakland before Chucky got there. But if it happens for a third game, if they go out and they play the same style of ball that they've been playing, they've been grounding and pounding the football. They're taking the ball out of Derek Carr's hands as much as possible, taking the game away from him. Okay, if you play that style, you have almost the same result. If you only score 30, okay, cool. I'll buy into it. What is that? What was that?
My phone started going off. It was a commercial on my phone that randomly opened up because my phone's online. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
What is happening here? Yeah. No, that's it. So I'm not saying the Eagles are anything to write home about. They should have won that game against Atlanta. They absolutely should have ran away with that game against Atlanta. Atlanta played trash football that whole first half. Philly owned that game for 30 minutes. And then what happens? Nick Sirianni, it's like, oh, Shane? Anybody seen Shane Steichen? I need him. Shane, where are you? So it was a clown show, and Philly deserved to lose. I just didn't see it happening that way. Let's talk about Dallas. Talk about Dallas.
Okay, let's talk about Dallas. Because here's my thing about the Dallas Saints game. This game told me so much about Dallas, and it's not even something that I think a lot of people are tracking. What it told me about the Cowboys is that they still don't know how to beat anybody or any team that has anything to do with the 49ers style of offense. Because for those people that don't track this, Clint Kubiak came from the 49ers as the offensive coordinator. And every
Yeah.
time the Cowboys played the 49ers since he was there, they destroyed them and they had
Yeah.
no way to defend
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
kind of offense.
Yeah.
And the Saints showed them once
Mhm.
again that if you have that style of offense, the Cowboys don't know what to do with it. So they told me a lot about the Cowboys status,
Mhm.
and it showed me that no matter who the defensive coordinator
Yeah.
is, for some reason they can't figure out that type of pre-motion and those quick passes and the screen. There was nothing really impressive about the Saints' offense, which is what blows my mind. There was no crazy plays. It was
Yeah.
screen passes, run plays, and quick passes that got the best of them. And that is what's been, for some reason, their demise since they started matching up with the
Yeah.
49ers 5 years ago in the playoffs.
Mhm.
It's always been something they can't defend. And
Yeah.
it makes no sense to me why, no matter who is there as a defensive coordinator, they can't figure out how to defend that style of football.
Yeah. Yeah. Dallas has shown that they they do not know how to defend a team that has multiple offensive looks. If unless you're a team that just goes straight under center and is in the I formation, they can't stop you. They just can't stop you. And it blows my mind how this can be 2024 and you can't defend anything outside of the I formation. Like I didn't know the I formation still existed. I thought we were doing single back. I thought where everything was in shotgun. I thought we were doing
Pistol and
ace. Like who's sitting there just lining up under center? Who's doing this? So it blows my mind because I watched that game. I'm like, the Saints are not this special. They're not that good. Like I mean, credit to Clint Kubiak for coming from the Shanahan tree and just knowing how to throw an offense out there. But I mean, the worst part about Sunday for me was that Dallas looked so bad it made New Orleans look that good. But the problem is,
yeah.
for me as a Saints fan, New Orleans isn't that good. They've proved nothing other than they have played trash heap defenses. That's it. And they took advantage of it. Now, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. You play the Trash Pandas, and then you play the Dallas. What formation is that? Yeah, of course, you should throw up 40-plus points. But I just, as a Saints fan, I will call for my fellow Saints fans, just temper your excitement. Just temper it, okay? Just wait. Derek Carr is still the quarterback of this football team. All right? Just wait.
The other shoe will come. Don't worry. The other shoe will fall, and everything.
It will fall. It will. Yes, it will. This O-line is overplaying right now. This O-line is playing out of its mind. When coming into this season, that was the biggest question mark we had. And don't sit there and tell me that training camp and preseason solved it. It did not. Okay, there's an illusion.
No.
If the illusion proves true, then let a few more weeks play out. Let's take week 3. Let's go in. Let's play this game against Philly at home. Let's see what happens. But just, it's another reason that I hate Dallas is that it made my team look really good, and I don't think they're that good. So, Dallas is ruining everything all the time.
Way to find the black lining instead of the silver lining. Way to find the black lining situation that has to do with the good moment for you.
That was the name of the Bradley Cooper prequel I was in, the Black Linings playbook. Yeah, I was in that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Me and Nicole Kidman.
And on that note,
have a dance
let's
class
jump
together.
right to this week's games real quick. And talk about what we expect
Yeah.
to see, hopefully, because the first matchup that I really want to talk about has to do with the team that is struggling to find a win that we did not expect to be struggling to find a win, which is the Baltimore Ravens at 0-2. And
Yeah.
as a perfect segue, they're playing the Cowboys this week, who just got spanked
Yeah.
like they were in Bible school in the 70s.
Yep.
So
Yeah. What's interesting, and before we came on, I was trying to find the red zone stats for the Dallas defense because Baltimore hasn't had much luck in the red zone, and so and so I was trying to figure, okay, well, if there's a win here, then maybe it's going to come in. It'll come in this game for Baltimore. If I'm not mistaken, this game's in Dallas, isn't it?
yep.
Okay, so Dallas has that going for them. There's just something there where the way Dallas played against New Orleans, and now you're playing a team that has Lamar Jackson, and the one that got away, Derrick Henry. It's almost as if this is like storybook for Baltimore's first win of the 24 season. Looking at the style of play Baltimore plays and looking at how Dallas struggled against the Saints, I don't and
This is
given the fact that
the matchup made in hell. Let me tell you, this is the matchup made in hell for both teams. The Ravens keeps getting wins taken out from their grasp at the last minute, so they're hungry for a win. And then the Cowboys just got destroyed. So both teams really want to bounce back. But the Cowboys, if they couldn't handle Alvin Kamara, one explosive offensive running back style player, what are you going to do when you have Derrick Henry, which will truck you down the middle of the field, and Lamar Jackson, which will run circles around you? What are you going to do then? But again, from the Ravens' perspective, the Cowboys are going to want to be proving a point. So it's just a perfect time for it to just be a bloodbath. And I can't even tell you what I have as far as an expectation on either side of that matchup.
Yeah, it's going to be, and honestly, what I'm looking at is just this is the Cowboy offense against the Raven defense. So that Dallas offense is broken right now. The only one that's out there making plays is CeeDee Lamb, and there's only so much he can do. He can only do so much by himself, and he has proven, hey guys, I need help. Okay, the player of football past, Zeke Elliott, not helping me much. So it's almost as if Jerry Jones wanted to play both Scrooge for the whole movie. Like he's trying to be Scrooge, and then like he wants to be good Scrooge, but he forgets, I have to loosen the purse strings to do this. And wait, there was a running back out there that could have helped me this season. That's right, I'm playing him this weekend. I'm playing Derrick Henry. I could have had him. So I'm looking at this Dallas O against the Baltimore D. And let me look at these last 2 weekends for Baltimore, because I can't quite put my finger on how they were. Let me see. Where's this at? Okay, where's the Ravens? There we go. Okay. All right. Yeah, they have not had a good defensive showing. And I thought they had. They have not. They have not. But, hey, take heart. You're playing the Cowboys offense this weekend, okay? Just
if
take
your
heart.
defense is just wait until you compare to the Dallas defense. Just wait. You'll be fine. You'll feel so much better.
Yeah, it's insane. This is going to be a game that I will enjoy watching.
It should be a good for.
And honestly, it's a toss-up. It really is just a toss-up. Like I could see this going either way. I give the edge to Baltimore, I do, just because of their offensive scheme and how bad Dallas's offense is struggling right now. And so,
Yeah.
and Baltimore's defense is historically a good defense. Then you're not going to get much past them, and especially if they're playing an offense that has one and a half weapons. There's only so much Dak can do,
Where's
and
the
there's only
half?
so much CD.
As a Cowboys fan, I'm asking, where's the half?
Dak Prescott, okay, because he ain't running anywhere. He can only throw to CD, so it's 1.5. Okay, so yeah, that'll be an interesting game. That will be, yeah.
Yeah.
But I want to look at right now. So I want each of us to take one of these teams. Which two? I'm gonna give you the 2-0 teams, and I'm gonna
Okay.
say which one of these teams to you is the pretender. Okay.
Sure.
Buffalo, the Chargers. I should just stop there. I already know what you're gonna say. Buffalo, the Chargers, the Texans, the Steelers, and the Chiefs. Which one of those AFC teams is the pretender?
The Steelers, 100%. And don't even get me started on what
Okay.
F show they have going on up in Pittsburgh. 2-0 with one touchdown. You have more
Hey,
wins than you have touchdowns. Come on.
hey, they're pacing themselves. It's a long season. Okay. NFC. The Saints, the Vikings, the Seahawks, and the Buccaneers all 2-0. Who's the pretender?
Honestly, I want to say the Seahawks are the bigger pretender. Out of all those teams, the Seahawks would be the pretenders.
Okay. Interesting take. Interesting. Okay.
Did you
I would
expect me to say the
tend
Saints?
to. Well, no. I would tend to agree with you, given that their new head coach is defensive minded, and out of the 2-0 teams in the NFC, they've given up the most points. So,
Yeah. That doesn't bode well for a defensive coach.
doesn't bode well. I'm going to give you the 0-2 teams in each division,
Yeah.
in each league, and I want you to tell me which one is the most should be the most panicked right now. Okay, in the AFC,
Panicked.
we have the Broncos, the Titans, the Bengals, the Ravens, the Jaguars, and the Colts. Who should be the most panicked?
So that's a tough one. I'm stuck between two. I think the two are obvious between the Ravens and the Bengals.
The
Both of
Bengals?
them, I feel like should.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like because of the way that they've lost their last two games, the
Mm-hmm.
Bengals should have a little more panic because they haven't showed any explosiveness in week one when they lost to the Patriots. And just the way that they lost to the Chiefs showed that they don't have again explosiveness to match up with the Chiefs, which you have to get through in the AFC if you want to be AFC champions. You
Yeah.
have to know how to beat the Chiefs. You did it once, sure, but you didn't show me anything this week that tells me that you know how to do it regularly. It's more it looks like it was lightning in a bottle when you beat the Chiefs
Yeah.
in the AFC Championship, which looking back,
Yeah.
it really was. Relied on Mahomes missing a pass that he never misses in overtime to really beat them. So
Yeah.
I feel like the Bengals losing to the Patriots and the Bengals losing to the Chiefs tells you both sides of what type of team that is this year, which is a team that doesn't really have an identity anymore. The controversy of Jamar Chase seems like it's got to them and has taken away any type of productivity they have on offense. Jamar Chase isn't even producing at this point. So for those
Yeah.
reasons, I think Eagles should be the most worried. The Ravens, 0-2, yes, I get it, but
Yeah.
they've been competitive. They're just a toe away from being 1-1, which would be perfectly fine if the loss was against the
Yeah.
Chiefs or whatever. Like it's just bad luck of the
Yeah.
draw. But I expect it would be okay. Can't say the same about the
Yeah.
Bengals.
Yeah. I would say the Bengals for the simple reason that John Harbaugh's not going anywhere, no matter what happens at Baltimore. Zach Taylor could very much lose his job at the end of the season if the Bengals don't make the playoffs. If the Bengals don't make the playoffs, Zach Taylor's fired. I can almost guarantee it.
That was your take.
NFC.
That was your
Yeah, it was my take. Yep, and I stand by it. All right, here's the hard one. Okay, out of the 3 0-2 NFC teams, which one should be the most panicked? The Panthers, the Giants, or the Rams? I bet you never. Let's play a game. Let's play a game called One of These Things Is Not Like the Other. One of these things just doesn't belong. Okay? Out of the Panthers, the Giants, and the Rams, 3 majestic animals. Which one of those, or the Giants aren't animals. Never mind. Out of those 3 teams. Aren't they elephants? I thought they were elephants.
They're creatures of
out of those 3 teams, which one should be the most panicked?
I mean, the easy answer is to say the Rams should be the most panicked, but it makes sense that they're 0-2 because half of their offense just went on IR. So it sucks for them because it seems like every year the injury bug just catches the best out of the Rams. But ignoring injuries because you can't control injuries, the Giants should be the ones that are the most panicked because your quarterback is not the solution. You don't have a running back anymore to really make up for the crappy quarterback play. And ultimately, what's going to happen at the end of this year is that for some reason you're going to fire your head coach because your offense is crap. And it's not even the head coach's fault. I feel like his head is going to roll because a head has to roll, but he inherited a crappy quarterback and a GM that came out and said that they wouldn't want to keep Saquon Barkley at the price that they were going to pay him in the free market. But somehow he's going to be the one that loses his job as the head coach. So for that reason, I think that Giants should be the panic because they're going to get rid of the one thing that I feel like they have going for them, which is a competent coach that knows what to do with the team. They're just not going to give them the time or the pieces to do it.
Yeah. I would say the Giants too, but I think in the sense of that, I would say that it's a tie between Giants and the Panthers. And I'm gonna take a reverse approach to this. Okay, so I'm gonna say the Giants because I don't think Malik Neighbors, he's got too much of a dog in him to allow this to be a lost season. He's gonna do everything he can to make sure that the Giants win. He's already done it. He did everything he could against the Redskins to make sure the Giants win that game,
but
and it did not happen. They didn't win. But the Panthers, I could see the Red Rocket going back there and be like, I still got stuff to prove. I will take this team. And so I would say if I'm the Giants and Panthers, I'm the most panicked because I don't think I have the pieces to not have the first overall pick. I think I have pieces on my team that are going to ruin this mission of us having the top overall pick.
Yes. That is true. We're going to be so shitty we don't even know how to lock up the first overall pick. That should be a big concern for crappy teams at that level.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Both of those teams need all the pieces they can get because even if they don't use the first pick, they could trade that first pick to get more resources to be able to build their team. So if I'm a Panther fan or a Giant fan, I'm like, Malik, Red Rocket, chill. Okay, understand the assignment.
Don't do anything
the room.
special.
Okay, read the room. All right. Nobody wants to excel this year. Okay, just calm down. Calm down with your excellence. Okay. All right. Don't say the M word. Don't say mediocrity. We want to be terrible. Okay. Just stay away from mediocre. All right.
Settle for terrible.
Before we move on to baseball, I want to touch on LSU football for a second. I know this is not NFL, this is college. I've got 2 things I want to bring up. 2. Okay. So I'm a diehard LSU fan. I went into this season thinking, and I did a whole monologue on this, that The third year was Brian Kelly's year to shine. So far, there hasn't been much shining. Okay, I get their 2-1. They lost to USC in heartbreak fashion. It's as if they played Florida State for the third year in a row. Okay, it's just a repeat. It's just the different colors, the same outcome. That's all it is. That game against South Carolina was absolute trash. And it was trash in the first half. And the only reason LSU wins that game is because Lenora Sellers gets hurt. Because Sellers is not in the game anymore, LSU, that offense is able to drive, keep that game alive for them, for the defense to do just enough to keep LSU in the game. So this leads me to my 2 points. One, if it wasn't for Caden Durham, the freshman running back, this guy came in, stepped in for John Emery, and has been a revelation for the Saints offense. And the Tigers, need to continue to use Caden in the way to where it takes Nussmeier out of his bad habits. Okay, he doesn't need any bad habits out there. Okay, he doesn't need to be singing Ed Sheeran with the pigskin. All right, he needs to just control the football, hand it off to Caden when he needs to. The second thing, this is the defensive side of the ball. Stop putting ideas in Harold Perkins' head. Let the kid go play football. Put him at linebacker and say, Harold, you see the football? I want you to go after it. That's it. That's it. Let the kid play. He started 8 games his freshman year, absolutely blew up the freshman charts for LSU football, and even in college football, set himself up to have a big sophomore year. He started more games. His stats went down because he forgot how to play. They were trying to make him something he's not. He's 6'2", 225. He's not going to be an edge rusher. It's just not going to happen. Now this year, nothing has changed. They're sitting there and they're still trying to make him something he's not. He needs to be able to just go out there and just do what he does best, which is make plays. He cannot be out there just with all these thoughts in his head. Blake Baker needs to go to Harold and say, listen, forget everything we taught you. I'm going to put you at linebacker. I'm going to put you right in the mid. At middle linebacker, just stay there. Okay? Drop back if you see a pass. Go after the quarterback if he's backing up. Get in through one of those gaps. Like you just let the dude play. Let the dude play. And if we can have that, if Nussmeier can lean on Caden on that offense, because this offense is starting to click. I'm starting to see some stuff that I like. It's looking real good. Okay, it's starting to smell like a really good roux. Okay, with those red beans, it's starting to get thick. All right, it's nice. There's a nice aroma, spicy. All right, I want to take some of that sausage out of the pot. I want to taste it. I want that andouille in my mouth. Okay, that offense is looking good, but the defense needs work, and it starts with Harold Perkins. Harold Perkins needs to be allowed to play. This dude is an NFL talent. He will make it to the NFL despite LSU's best efforts to ruin his life. He will make it to the NFL. And somebody will unlock his gifts. But Blake Baker, it is up to you. It is up to you, my man, to show him the way. And showing him the way means, hey, you see that spot on the field? Go there. You see the football? Chase it. That's it. That's all you need to do with him. Let him play his game.
That's fair. You know what? When it comes to coaching, I've only coached high school football for a little bit, and I don't consider myself coaching quality to be able to speak to coaching in a very deep manner. But something that I hate about coaching is whenever coaches try fitting a circle in a cube hole. Find a way to work around a good piece and make that piece work for you instead of trying to make that piece instead of work for that piece instead of trying to make that piece work for you. I hate whenever people try changing players when you have a skill set and an ability, and then the coach comes in and says, "Well, that's not exactly what I'm looking for, so I'm going to change who you are
Yeah.
and make you work how I want you to work."
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me why coaches
Yeah.
to rely on.
Yeah. Yeah. We talked about that last week. Well, you mentioned it when it came with Kirk Cousins in Atlanta. They're trying to change his game. Like, why? He's been playing football for 16 years. He's been playing NFL football forever. Why are you trying to change his game now? What? Why?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
the perfect emblem of that situation is Kirk Cousins leading a game-winning drive against the Eagles on Monday. 2-minute drives, a quarterback doesn't have time to think; they just do. And if you sat there and watched every single detail about Kirk Cousins, I'm 99% assure you he went back to his Washington and Minnesota days, and he wasn't trying to fit into whatever Atlanta did 2 weeks ago to try making them Atlanta quarterback style. And he won the game because they let him. He just went out there, played football, didn't have time to think, and just played.
Yeah. One more thing before we get to our fix of six. On the baseball side, Shohei Ohtani has done it. He is now the first 50-50 man in Major League Baseball history. He is officially the first 51-51 man, going 6 for 6 with 3 homers and 10 RBIs today against that team in South Beach. I think they still exist. I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, but
they've
6 for 6,
right.
3 homers, 10
2 stolen
RBIs.
bases.
Absolutely ridiculous. So, and it's not even done for Shohei because the Dodgers came out and said, we're not ruling out Shohei pitching in the postseason. That is still on the table. So it's unfair. It's unfair that all the talent was absorbed by this one man.
Yeah.
And he's the only one in Major League Baseball history to get hurt for a whole year and still play for a whole year and be a 50-50 man.
Yeah, it's the first time you'll ever see a player that's going through a rehab and in the process of recovering, winning MVP. You'll never see it again.
Yeah. I can't throw, but I will damn sure hit the crap out of the ball, and I will run my ass off. So you will know that is happening. So I guess the elbow bone is
officially say congratulations. That thank God. We can officially say congratulations. You officially locked up the MVP award back to back. So we've been seeing this coming for a while. So it's going to be a surprise for anybody.
Yeah. Now I'm just waiting for Judge to go on a run to get to 60. That's what I'm waiting on. I want that to happen. I want there to be a 50-50 man and a 60 homer dude. Same season. That's what I want.
That'd be impressive. I don't think it's happening.
No.
As good as the Yankees have been looking, I don't think Judge is necessarily there.
Yeah. No, that's not happening. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yankees. You have to say congratulations, Yankees. They officially clinched the postseason. So did the Brewers. Congratulations to both of those teams.
Congratulations to the Brewers. They can suck it. Yeah. Oh, it's gross. Yeah.
You thought it was
Craig Counsell.
You thought it was going to be such a.
Craig Counsell's the only one's like, the ship is sinking, and it's not. And he jumped on the shit that is sinking. So yeah. It's like imagine the Titanic. Like imagine like his boat wasn't sinking. He's like, oh, the Titanic looks indestructible. Let me jump on that, and then that's what he did.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. Let's get to our fix of six.
Heck yes. Let's get to it, JB. No, I don't. Take it away.
JB and Manny's fix of 6. JB's number 3 fix of 6. The Marlins' first-round pick, PJ Morlando, suffered a season-ending injury earlier this year. Now, we just found out what that injury was. That injury was from a weightlifting competition organized by the team during a rain delay on his first professional game. Talk about going all out for your team, trying to show out, and you get a – it doesn't even say what it was. I don't know if it was a torn pec. I don't know what it was. But, yeah, so sorry, PJ. I hope it didn't keep you out too long. JB's number 2 fix of 6. Tristan Casas, you got to pick your words better, man. You can't sit there and say, hey, I'm fired up by seeing one of my teammates naked in the shower. You can't do that. That's not allowed, okay? I don't care what year it is. You shouldn't say it out loud. Tristan Casas was talking about how he was having a hard time, and he saw Trevor Story's scar on his back, and he was like, he was pumped up by. He's like, oh, if Trevor can come back from this, I can come back from anything. But you shouldn't be saying, hey, I know it sounds weird, but hey, I was pumped up by seeing him naked. That's not. First of all, another man shouldn't say that, and you shouldn't use the word up and another man naked in the same sentence, okay? Just don't do that in public.
Not cool, bro.
JB's number 1 fix of 6. The Astros don't know what to do with Justin Verlander come playoff time. It's been no secret that JV has not played anywhere near the baseball he's capable of. But if I'm the Houston Astros, and if JV is only my 3rd or 4th starter, I'm absolutely throwing him out there. Nobody owns the postseason over the last 5 years like Justin Verlander has. This dude will go out there, and he will dominate. Now, it would make me a happy baseball fan to see JV out there. It would make me a happy baseball fan to see the Astros squander Justin Verlander and decide not to use him at all and just shoot themselves in the foot. But bottom line, Justin Verlander needs to be in the starting rotation. If not that, make him the closer. Make him the closer for your team. Make him the Andrew Miller, okay, of this year's Astros. Throw him out there like the Indians did every single game during the World Series against the Cubs. Hell, they did that against every single game in the postseason in 2016. That is JB's fix of 6. Manny, hit us with yours.
Bringing it all back to your monologue and our opening conversation. Manny's fix of 6, number 3. The Panthers have been so bad that at one point they were selling tickets to their home games for $1.60 to get in to watch that type of football.
Oh,
if you really,
man.
You can go buy a scratcher or you can watch a Panthers football game. That is where we are right now in Carolina, and I feel like you might still have a better time scratching off the scratcher than watching the Panthers football game. Manny's number 2 fix of 6. Florida State, after complaining, whining, crying that they deserve to be the 4th team in the college football playoff last year, have proceeded to lose their first 3 games in a row. Their bet on the wins for this year was 9. So by losing that 3rd game, they've officially secured that they are not going to make their win projection for the year. And you're going to sit here and cry about how you are so deserving to be in the playoff last year. I understand players graduate, transfer, go away. If you have a good program and you're going to sit there and tell me how you're deserving and you got screwed and you're going to start this lawsuit and the governor is going to come sue the NCAA, actions speak a little bit louder than words in this case, and maybe don't get destroyed by every single team that you come across this year. Maybe have something to fight with once the new season starts. You're not even. They expanded the 12 game to 12 teams this year. I don't even think they're guaranteed to make it this year into the playoffs. So what are they going to do? Cry about the fact that they're not the 13th team into the playoffs? Give me a break. And Manny's number one. Six. Sadly, we have to report that our insider, Adrian Wojnarowski, the Woj Bomb himself, has decided to retire from being a Woj Bomb sender, breaking all NBA news to everybody in the world. Go be a GM for NCAA basketball for who is he going to be the GM for?
St. Bonaventure.
That's right. That's his alma mater. So it's fair, but it's going to be a missed face. He's going to be in the background now. I don't know how I feel about that. He's still going to have a great impact, but it's going to be not going to hit the same if whoever they hire. It is the Woj Bomb name will forever live in infamy as the greatest newsbreaker ever in basketball history. So, bon voyage, Woj. Good luck being a GM for college basketball. And that does it for your weekly fix of six.
Yeah, so two things for that fix of six you had was, one, the Panther fans should pool all of their scratch winnings together to buy the team from David Tepper. And two, Florida State, this is a picture of what it's like to have bad scouting. Okay, when you don't know how to scout your team or scout what your team needs and what's going to fit, this is the product of it. So, yeah, this is the most high profile one outside of Colorado. When you can't scout, hey, I mean, this is what happens. So, Manny, what were you drinking today?
JB, I stumbled across a random bottle. I bought JoJo chocolate chip flavored whiskey today.
Is that JoJo Siwa? What is that? What is
that? Just JoJo.
I got the Basil Hayden Dark Rye. It's actually pretty good. Saw it today. It's pretty tasty.
Are you there?
And so, and then I was smoking a Alec Bradley Royal Oak. So, yep. All right. Manny, go ahead and close this out.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Box Scores and Bourbon. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on Spotify, iTunes, and Amazon. We are listed under Box Scores and Bourbon. You can interact with us on Instagram. You can interact with us on TikTok. We're regularly posting content on both of those platforms. You can find us there under BSB Sports 24. BSB Sports 24. Thank you so much for listening to us. We can't wait to bring you more updates in the next week. And until then, cheers, everyone. We'll see you on the other side.
Stay thirsty, folks.